Good evening once again. Welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. It's me, Michael Jordan Lukomwa, and this is what we have for you. During the 20th anniversary celebrations of the National Council for Higher Education at Kololo Independence Grounds, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has pledged to increase the salaries of lecturers teaching science and engineering courses in the higher education institutions, aligning them with their counterparts in private institutions. The president emphasized that this move is crucial in saving lives and providing essential expertise, especially in industries such as aviation that require skilled engineers and personalities.
A significant number of academicians from universities and other tertiary institutions gathered at Kololo Independence Grounds to commemorate the 20 years of the National Council for Higher Education's existence. Established by an Act of Parliament in 2003, the National Council for Higher Education started with 4 public universities and 7 private universities. It now proudly boasts accreditation for 265 higher learning institutions, including universities and other degree awarding establishments. During his speech at the event, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni urged education managers to ensure that students grasp the basics and expressed his disappointment in the prevalence of superstitions over natural sciences.
My suggestion is that when we are managing education, we should not mystify it. Go to the basics and make sure that our students really understand the basics. The problem of Africa was remaining in superstition when other parts of the world had moved a bit in the area of natural science. They had understood natural science better than us.
While the government has advised higher education institutions to focus on offering science and technology programs, many faculties of engineering and architecture face a shortage of staff. President Museveni has promised to address this issue.
Professor Katunguka, on the issue of if there are scientists, they must be paid for the government universities. They must be paid what they will be paid in the private sector, our scientists.
The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, emphasized that going forward, National Council for Higher Education should ensure that program quality, especially in science education, remains consistent.
That INCHI should address now is the quality of higher education being offered in these institutions, especially the science and technology programs. Therefore, INCHI must ensure that the programs and courses offered in both public and private higher education institutions do not vary in quality, because sometimes we tend to give excuses if the quality of some education institutions are not good. We start to give excuses of the fact that that is a private university. But that should not make any difference in our universities, whether public or private.
Over the past 20 years, National Council for Higher Education has developed a quality assurance framework for universities and other tertiary institutions, which is used to assess quality and standards.
In place a higher education quality assurance framework for universities and other tertiary institutions. The relevant instruments and regulations are used by NCHE to guide and monitor the performance of institutions. But institutions also use them for self-assessment.
Despite the growth in higher education institutions, the sector has not progressed as expected. The National Council for Higher Education has also expressed concerns about its limited power to enforce decisions, such as directing an institution to close.
In the Act that the National Council can enforce its regulations, we can recommend that the university should close and it will remain open. National Council does not have the mandate or the capacity to enforce some of its regulations. You can revoke a license of a university or an institution And these people refuse and continue operating.
Celebrations, which were launched in March 2023, are held under the theme National Council for Higher Education, Transforming Higher Education in Uganda. I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lugemwa in Kampala.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, that is UBC, is urgently seeking increased funding to acquire state-of-the-art technology with an aim to enhance broadcasting services. The Deputy Managing Director, UBC, Maurice Mujisha, made this appeal during a visit by Parliamentary Committee of Information and National Guidance to the various UBC facilities, as we see in this report.
The Parliamentary Committee on Information Communication Technology and National Guidance has conducted a comprehensive tour of various UBC facilities to assess their conditions. One of such facilities, sprawling across 24 acres in Bugorobi, was historically pivot as a shortwave broadcasting point for Radio Uganda. However, this site now accommodates outdated transmission equipment that is no longer compatible with modern digital technology. As a result, there are proposals to transform it into a museum.
So one would want to say that the technology which is here of short wave and medium wave should now be kept as a museum for the history of this country, for how the technology of communication started from independence to now to where we are. So we think it shouldn't be thrown away.
We have proposed, among the 3-4 projects we proposed to the board, that one of them would be to build a museum, a television and radio museum at the site, which would allow for university students, researchers, but also primary students to be able to see our history in terms of where we've come from, in terms of broadcasting as a country, because this year we turn 60 in terms of television coverage. Next year we turn 70 for radio coverage and radio broadcasting. So that would be a best platform for people to go and see our history in terms of television and radio.
UBC now urgently requires funding to procure new equipment that will replace the existing outdated technology. This investment is essential to prevent future damage and to ensure the continued delivery of high-quality broadcasting services.
In this tour, I've really seen the signs of inadequate funding for UBCs all over. Looking at the infrastructure, the equipment, and you really see signs of inadequate resources for UBC. Most of the equipment do not have redundancy. In the event that the equipment breaks down, there's no backup. This means transmission or TV service will be interrupted.
Showing them the need of replacing the above equipment with new, and also upgrading some of them to enhance our coverage reach in the whole country.
Support our need to move to migrate to DTH, which is direct to home transmission, which would allow Ugandans access TV by just by having a satellite and just downloading the picture for free and being able to watch that channel at home anywhere in Uganda.
During the tour, the vice chairperson of the ICT and National Guidance Committee noted that land grabbing is one of the key issues facing UBC, and the committee pledged its support towards resolving these concerns. Sadam Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
This one there's no problem.
Mityana Municipality Member of Parliament Francis Zake is in trouble again as Parliament initiates fresh investigations into his public conduct. Zake is accused of using despicable language against fellow members of Parliament while officiating at an event in Rakai district.
Parliament session started on a high note, coupled with the return of some of the members in the opposition who on Tuesday this week walked out of Parliament in protest of the accusations that police interfered with the political activities of the National Unity Platform Party. Chaired by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, the full House was made to interest itself on a matter of procedure raised by Rakai woman Member of Parliament Juliet Subi Kinyamatama, who accused the Mityana Municipality MP Francis Zake of insulting and abusing her personality at a function in Rakai district.
Honorable Speaker, on the 9th of October, one of our members, the Honorable Zake, came to my constituency and used defamatory words against me that I cannot mention here.
The matter turned controversial, literally eking the rules of procedure of Parliament, and the presiding officer pushed the ball to the Parliament's Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline.
Now I'm wondering whether the member is in order to raise issues concerning Zake. Yes, this wasn't part of your communication, right, Honorable Speaker? So I'm inquiring.
Yeah, because you see, if you want to shout, we have the mouth, we can begin shouting. Yes, we can, if that's what you want.
So, honorable colleagues, if you think that you're going to go out and you do whatever you do that affects the image of Parliament, and you say, I did it from outside, you can't touch me, kindly we will apply our rules.
Chinyamatama requested that the video recording accusing MP Zake be played, leading to a commotion which forced the Deputy Speaker to suspend the House for some time.
House suspended for 10 minutes.
When the sitting resumed, the Deputy Speaker Taibwa, in a bid to contain the situation, requested the members to allow the video play, and the House moves to the next item. But the next detail, which was the statement by the State Minister for Internal Affairs, David Muhoozi, on the security handling of the National Unity Platform political activities, faced resistance from the members whose attitudes were beyond control.
That one, you find a section of MPs who feel strongly aggrieved to the extent that an abuse or an insult, you equate it, you give it a greater weight than the killings, the maiming.
In a social media circulated video, MP Francis Zake, while at a function recently in Rakai district, provoked the area woman MP Subi Chinyamatama, using statements which to some members were abusive and insulting.
I will do whatever it takes to have justice as a woman and on behalf of the women of this country. And that is why you saw all women in this house support the cause of fighting against anyone who touches the dignity and the reputation of a woman in this country.
Parliamentary politics. Secondly, they wanted to stop this debate by using Chinyamatama, such that they vulgarize us as opposition, and we don't say anything about what is taking place in the country.
The Deputy Speaker, Thomas Taiwa, then prematurely adjourned Parliament to next week, after the commotion was fueled by fist fights when some members attacked and started beating up MP Zake from his seat. But this comes at a time when the Constitutional Court, on September 2023, quashed the recent move by Parliament to censure MP Zake from the Parliamentary Commission. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
During the 5th FITSPA annual FinTech Conference of the 2023, Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Monica Musenero, offered advice to players in the financial technology sector and encouraged them to translate their innovations into viable and scalable business ventures. Musenero highlighted the factors that can attract investors to establish financial technologies while officiating at the event.
The 50th FITSPA Annual FinTech Conference 2023, with the theme Leveraging on Digital Infrastructure for Innovation and Inclusivity, is set to support the acceleration of FinTech penetration and enhance financial and digital literacy.
We have over 32 million mobile money wallets via which the average Ugandan can access a wide range of financial services. Ultimately, if you innovate and nobody uses your product, it doesn't help you. Yeah? So inclusivity also means that everybody in the ecosystem is being given an opportunity to play their role meaningfully.
In our ecosystem, there is unproportionate financing for training in entrepreneurship and minimal financing in capital. We need to balance such that the people we train in entrepreneurship, they have access. How do we make sure that we have products to fund fintech innovations.
To accelerate financial literacy, stakeholders are advocating for the development and broad coverage of internet infrastructure.
That accessibility, awareness, and penetration of digital financial services remains low, mainly due to poor infrastructure, and we continue to bring that to the attention of the relevant stakeholders, who I'm sure are with us today. But there is still a lot more work to do to improve access to basic financial services and to address concerns around security and privacy.
The central bank has called upon players in financial technologies to regularize their operations to safeguard consumers from cybersecurity risks.
Cybersecurity and IT security therefore become increasingly important because the new convenience comes with increasing risks as cyber criminals exploit vulnerabilities in digital systems to breach defenses and gain unauthorized access to valuable data.
The Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation wants these innovators to have feasible business plans for their fintech ventures to attract potential investors.
Multipliable system into something that is refined, that can be deployed to serve many clients, and different innovations will require different industrial platforms. If we cannot industrialize, if we cannot mass produce and avail that solution to many clients, then it stays there as a potential.
The 55th Annual FinTech Conference 2023 has resulted in 2 resolutions to promote inclusive finance through digital financial services. Abdul Nasser Luwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge.
Wano nno tuli Bukoto era lero we tugenda okaba pichipichi yaffe eri omwanguzi waffe wano we tuzze.
I'm so excited and I'm sure even all the people, all the staff at Kwaliwath are all excited. We thank you very, very much.
Myaka 25 nga MTN ewereza naye nga buli week tugaba pichipichi 5.
Very, very excited. I'm excited about MTN giving back to its customers. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much, MTN.
The fact that we have won really shows that people like Mama. Their services are really nice. MTN, your services are okay. The network is good. We are satisfied.
Chikola sense ne?
Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Uganda Revenue Authority URA, in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme UNDP, will launch the URA Digital Strategy on Friday 13th October 2023 at the URA NIP grounds, Nakawa. The URA Digital Strategy is aligned to the National Digital Transformation Roadmap launched in August 2023 and to the broader Uganda Vision 2040. It aims at optimizing URA operations, strategic direction, and value proposition through a deep and coordinated shift in tech culture, workforce deployments, and the use of advanced technologies. These include big data analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence to transform tax administration processes and build an integrated and secure tax ecosystem. The strategy sets out to deliver near-instant tax services, inclusive solutions for all tax segments, and solid technologies within convenient reach for taxpayers. The exciting, all-encompassing, client-centric goal of this transformation is to create a simplified tax experience near you. This is a hybrid event with minimal physical attendance. Virtual attendance options are Zoom, live stream via LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube by way of URA TV.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Tubaniriza Mjinja Central Market trade wano okubanga twedusa abantu okuwaayo kumbaga ya mwenemu nga bakozesa momope. Kati je Mjinja Central Market sobola okubanga tuwayana abatyamye momope neri kwogeza abantu obwama.
Tamu ndalo. Otemu mukaga. Otemu itanga. Otemu sita. Onige isatu. Onige ash. Onige yes. Aye nga tuwayo tikashi nga tuwayo nga tubita ku momope enkola ya MTN miga 70
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cash back every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
We thank you so much for watching. It's UBC News Tonight. Residents of Kamengo Sub-County in PG have today marked the belated World Mental Health Day with an appeal to government to increase allocation of more staff and drugs to lower local government health centers handling people with mental disabilities and give them some relief. The event marked at Butoro Health Center 3 has been jointly marked at Butoro Health Center in Kamengo by MPG leaders and other stakeholders.
Rated drugs and low staffing levels at lower local government health centers are some of the challenges faced by people with mental disabilities in Kamengo Sub-County MPG district. During the belated World Mental Health Day celebrations marked at Butolo Health Center 3 in Kamengo Sub-County, some of the victims of mental disabilities aired out their grievances, which calls for government's urgent intervention.
I kindly request government to support us with drugs used by epileptic PWDs and mentally disabled people on health centers raised, because we do always find most of the dilemmas, especially in education. Students, they no longer go to schools, they lack drugs.
Nombe Suzani, I have a problem of my head. And 12 years I have been there at Butabika for having a medicine. But now I'm told Health Center 3 to get there the medicine.
However, the MPG District Planning Officer Benon Mukwaya and Lokia Nachitende, a qualified nurse dealing with people with mental disabilities at Butolo Health Center, hinted on some of rays of hope to deal with the situation.
Because you know, once someone is sick, he needs service. You cannot tell that person that right now we don't have drugs. That means at the end of the day, you will say that when we got the facilities, we don't do what?
In those integrated outreaches, so that we sensitize the community and the schools how to handle those people with mental illness, with the people with epilepsy, so that they send them to the facility to get the services.
Florence Nakai, the Joy Initiative Uganda director, revealed that at least patients who used to go to Butabika can now access the services at Butoro despite some minor challenges.
Most of, a few of them could go to Butabika Hospital because they didn't know they could get a service nearer to them. But when they got information and awareness on the beauty of having medication, they responded.
Tichinene, the district female councillor for people with disabilities, urged the PWDs to utilize the existing government programs like Emyoga and PDM to fight household poverty.
Only 5, not more than 5 million. So the 25 million is still there. We are still waiting for the people with disabilities to utilize the funds.
Juko Collins for UBC News.
Minister for Health, Dr. Jenrutha Cheng, has urged men in the country to embrace HIV self-testing as a means of scaling up the testing for HIV. She made the remarks during the launch of the One for HIV self-test kit.
The self-test kit officially launched.
The Ministry of Health, in partnership with Microhem Group of Companies, has launched the One for HIV self-testing kit and HIV self-testing campaign for men in Kampala. The Minister for Health, Dr. Jenrutha Cheng, cleared a community HIV self-testing campaign targeting men that will later be extended to other priority groups. The campaign aims at increasing the uptake of HIV testing services among men as one of the priority populations with HIV testing gaps. The campaign will target over 5,000 border men in the 5 divisions of Kampala.
Whereas we have done well with HIV testing in the general population, there are subpopulations that remain behind. And these include children, adolescents, men, and key populations. Self-testing will enable us to reach out to these groups, and more especially men, as well as groups at substantial risk of infection and those that may be in hard-to-reach areas who might not readily access the routine services.
The Director General at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Henry Mwebasa, noted that HIV self-testing is a critical strategy for delivering HIV testing services to populations that have been missing in the traditional HIV testing services, citing that it offers confidential, convenient and empowering environment for testing.
This kit was tested and validated by the Uganda Virus Research Institute, and the evaluation showed 100% sensitivity and 100% specificity. So, as a Ministry of Health, we are very comfortable with the kit and ready to use it.
We believe that for the products to be better adapted in the country, we will need to rolling out the testing kits at national levels, at the regional levels. We will be part of the training program, the TOT training program. And we are now also engaging with the AIDS control program, our partner Microhem, that we want to conduct a series of social campaigns that, for example, for the Boda group and for the fisherman groups and for other like campers and other high-risk populations.
The country is set to establish a world-class manufacturing facility for primary manufacturing and commercialization of quality and affordable diagnostic testing kits, vaccines and consumables in Uganda for the African continent.
That plant is ready. And we have tested it, we have manufactured these products, the products have gone under all levels of certifications, and we want to unveil this plant for the continent, for Uganda, for East Africa on 24th of November 2023. And we will cover the following: HIV tests kits, both rapid and lab-based or PCR tests.
We know, unfortunately, that we have limited resources, and yet we want to increase the number of people who are testing and are aware of their status. And in order to do this, even though you introduce self-testing, if you can't fit within the existing resource envelope, you have to be creative.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Line of health, the Orthopedics Society of Uganda is calling upon government and the Ministry of Health to open up employment for orthopedic surgeons at regional and district hospitals and ensure that the positions are filled. They say that the environment that they work in is full of constraints and urge government to look into their issues like training, avail of implants at subsidized rates, among others.
80% of the burden faced at the orthopedic department at Mulago National Referral Hospital is trauma, followed by other infections. It is against this backdrop that the Orthopedic Society of Uganda is calling for more employment of orthopedic specialists in the hospital, since health facilities lack them.
We would need that even those who have qualified need to be absorbed. You'll be surprised that we've got several orthopedic surgeons running around the private hospitals to make ends meet, and yet you have got regional referral hospitals, you've got district hospitals that have got an immense burden of disease, but the job is not available for them to go and set up there and help that needy community. So that is also something that we'd like you to.
The experts say that in their department, they do most of a range of procedures with minimum referrals abroad, and all attributed to specialized services they offer. Orthopedics say that the environment they work in is full of constraints and urge the government to look into their issues, like training, availing implants at subsidized rate, among others.
The equipment we use for orthopedic surgery is very pricey. The equipment we used to do joint replacements, we used to do spine surgeries, to do trauma is very pricey. The implants that we use cost a bit of money. And unfortunately, if you're looking at the patient side, these equipment, most of it is not readily available at the hospitals, and patients have then got to buy it out of pocket if they are not on insurance. They buy it out of pocket. For somebody who is paying out of pocket, this can cause some delays. So imagine somebody has had a fracture and needs about a week to mobilize money to buy an implant. That is time lost, during which time other complications can happen.
The experts note that the main challenge at their department, patients report late for treatment, making it hard for full recovery. It should be noted that only 73 orthopedics are in the country, and out of which 22 are at Mulago National Referral Hospital, and the rest distributed to other hospitals.
Less than 20 of those actually have orthopedic surgeons practicing in their hospitals. So, for example, Kabali, like you mentioned, has one surgeon, Masaka, one surgeon, Barara has one surgeon, Jinja also has one surgeon, Lira Regional Referral also has one surgeon, and the district hospitals do not have any, and yet we know that these are the ones that are going to see most of the patients that get trauma primarily before they are sent to the regional referrals or eventually to Mulago.
To be frank, the bodabodas are the biggest contributors to this trauma that we have. So we have a lot of trauma. Trauma takes about 80% of the work in orthopedics department currently. And then we have a lot of degenerative condition, that is wear and tear, mainly involving the spine conditions and the joints. The joints, where we have to replace, give artificial joints, do repairs of ligaments and spine surgeries.
In the concluded surgical week held at Mulago National Referral Hospital, over one.
On Thursday, today, workers participating in the Nile Walk initiative entered Kangulumira town in Kayunga district after wading through the flooded roads of Nakasongola district to the previous evening. Kagwa Daris, the Assistant Chief Administrative Officer of Kayunga district, commended the workers for their dedication to spreading the conservation message among the local population.
By Wednesday evening, the 700 kilometers walkers had reached Kayunga Town Council after overcoming significant challenges, including impassable roads submerged by floods in Nakasongola. Godfrey Ayeni, the lead walker, described it as a nail-beating experience as they were forced to walk barefoot.
It took us about 6 to 7 hours to go through that flood. Some part the flood was too strong. You could see it pulling you off the road, but we managed to move. We are happy that we managed to make it through the longer route up to Kayunga District Local Government, where we had our program as planned today morning. To us, yes, this work will help the conference to meet its objective and the goals.
The team engaged with the district leadership in Kayunga in tree planting activities, symbolizing their commitment to restoring depleted natural resources.
I want to appreciate this gesture because this is complementing our effort in protecting the environment. I take really the opportunity and call upon the people of Kayunga to plant trees and have proper protection of the river banks against contamination so that we can prevent diseases like cholera, diarrhea, and other diseases that could arise from poor sanitation.
Kayunga is one of the districts grappling with water stress despite being crossed by the Nile. The district leadership hopes that the upcoming Nile Basin Development Forum Conference will consider interventions to address such challenges.
Most of our people, they don't know how to use the Nile, and we are actually experiencing a lot of drought. Yet we have those fresh waters, we can use it for agriculture, but we are having low production from the water. So I request the team and the government to more sensitize and provide us with more gadgets like those in irrigation, such that we can be more productive in using the waters of River Nile.
As of this evening, the team had reached Kangulumira, from where they plan to set off to Jinja on Friday morning, with just 20 kilometers remaining to reach the source of the Nile. Lydia Chomkama, Dokas Kimono, UBC News.
Stanbic Bank has hosted an inspiring day of celebration for 20 students from various schools in Kampala, Wakiso and Mpigi. The event was aimed at uplifting and empowering the girl child.
Stanbic Bank, good morning. Hello. Good morning. Yes, I'm very fine. Thank you for that call.
Stanbic Bank Chief Executive Officer Ann Juko has pledged support to initiatives aimed at breaking down gender inequality and other barriers that persist in various sectors.
That inequality between boys and girls, men and women still exists today, right? When you're in school, you don't really feel it, right? Do you feel it? Not quite. If you're in Gayaza, you're in Nabingo, you don't really feel it. But in society, we see it all the time.
She was hosting 20 girls from Trinity College Nabingo, Gayaza High, Mackay College, and Kolo High for an International Girls' Day event at the bank's head office in Kampala. Where Maria Mugorega of Trinity College Nabingo had the privilege of stepping into Ann Juko's shoes as the bank chief executive for a day.
So grateful for this opportunity. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much.
May your dreams come true.
Amen.
God will take you where you want to go. Hard work.
The students were given an opportunity to occupy the offices of various department heads within the bank, aimed at inspiring them to excel in the field they choose.
For each of you here today, you're going to be given a department where you'll go, right? And in that department, please enjoy that day. Feel free, feel safe, you are welcome. You're here because we want you to be here, isn't it? Yes. So don't be shy, no. When they give you a department, make the most of that opportunity. Ask questions, interact, and enjoy it.
Stanbic Bank Chief Executive Officer Ann Juko shared her wisdom and encouraged the girls, emphasizing the importance of pursuing their dreams with determination, saying, "Do it anyway, as long as it uplifts your own lives and that of the community."
You do your best, God will do the rest. Thank you very, very much for coming. Enjoy Stanbic, enjoy your offices, Do you have your
These girls were advised never to abandon their dreams, and with Stanbic Bank's support, they are poised to redefine their destinies.
All the different things you'll find along the way, right? Do it anyway, right? Continue on your journey. Do it anyway. So people will be unkind, they'll be unreasonable, they'll say all sorts of things. What do? Do it anyway. Who's next?
News tonight. Let's take a short break. We'll return with sports news.
Uncle, you should see London. Oh, my boy. This has been 5 years. You should see Uganda. Yes. Uncle Marcus, this is my former school.
Soon there will be more than 1 million children learning like this for free.
Thank you, Uganda, for imagining it with us and making us the fastest growing telecom in the country over the past 5 years.
The Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, in partnership with Huawei, has organized the second annual National ICT Job Fair 2023, which will take place at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on the 17th and 18th of October 2023. The main objective is to address the unemployment gap among the youth in Uganda by providing a platform for them to interact with multiple employers, access job opportunities, internships, apprenticeships, and training programs in the ICT sector. The chief guest will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. All members of the public are invited.
Hello, Mom. How did you sleep? How is Salongo? Oh, Mommy, how is Grandma? And Simba, the dog, yeah, the funny one.
Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel Bona voice bundles. Dial *100*1#. Select Call Bona to choose bundles from as low as 1,000 shillings from daily, weekly, monthly, or bundles that don't expire. Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel. A reason to imagine.
On the 10th of October 2023, the First Lady Janet Museveni, who also serves as Minister for Education and Sports, issued new directives to the National Council of Sports regarding the leadership of the Uganda Netball Federation. Our reporter had an opportunity to interview the Minister of Sports, National Council of Sports, and the Netball Federation concerning the directives.
Outlined in a letter addressed to National Council of Sports Chairperson Ambrose Tashoba encompass 3 main points.
It was very specific and it addressed 4 main issues. That is 1, compliance, strictly complying to the provisions of the law, and the instruction was to the National Council of Sports to make sure that it invokes the law and to make sure that we strictly comply, failure of which 1 will be recalling the license or removal of the license from Netball Federation. 2, to immediately stop funding to the federation. And of course the 4th was Mama's reiteration of what the directive she had given on 20th July, that Honorable Chitio Sarah stands aside until she gets the full report of the investigation that is ongoing, and that I still take on the mantle as the acting president.
Honorable Sarah Babidechitio will continue to take leave of absence from her office until the investigations by the Office of the Auditor General and the Criminal Investigations Department of Uganda Police Force are concluded. The investigations were initiated due to the issues related to poor governance and accountability within the Uganda Netball Federation, as highlighted in the Auditor General's report for the financial year 2021-2022.
I want to be realistic and emphatic to you. If I give you my money, you must account according to the Public Finance Management Act. If you do not account public funds, there are penalties for that. That's not for us to be better. Netball is bigger than everybody, and no one is above the netball as a game. For that purpose, I call upon all those managing the Netball Federation to know that the netball sport is bigger than all of us. We found it here and we will leave it here. For that purpose, all one-to-one request of them is value for money, government accountability for public funds, and good governance. That's it.
when government gives money to sport, it's not giving it to an individual. It's giving it for the benefit of the Ugandans that are enjoying that sport, and also for its own national interest, that the flag of the country is going to be raised high, not that the dirty linens are going to be raised high. So we are going to go through the processes of National Council of Sports. We have the committee, the technical committee, which looks into these matters. We are going to sit as council. So we are going to go through one or two statutory mandated meetings to dispose of this matter. At the end of this meeting and also engagement, we are going to call on that they will be given a chance to come and a bit of a fair hearing to understand what's happening. Maybe some things have changed, and actually they can even change things overnight. They can sit as a fraternity and say, we will see what is happening, what is coming to us, let's organize ourselves.
Acting Ugandan Netball Federation President Brigadier General Flavia Biekwaso expressed the Federation's commitment to cooperating with the Council to find a way forward with hope of achieving a positive outcome for the sake of the sport.
I've not been told that I'm the president now. No. Sarah remains the president. I'm only the acting until these issues of governance and the report are resolved. This is only time, and I've always been, it's just a matter of time and some bit of patience. Because we cannot put the processes, the due processes, on our own thinking and understanding and speed, the way we want things to be done. But I'm sure if we are patient enough, I only see us going forward.
Sarah BDHTO comments that for the sake of the sport, she's willing to completely step away to see the sport flourish because of the hard work she's put in the growth of the sport this far. Grace Joyce Kemgisa, UBC News.
After 3 years without competition due to effects of COVID-19, the Victoria Rugby Cup returns with changes. Kenya, Zambia and Uganda will compete for 2 months in a home and away series starting the 26th of this month. Uganda will be the first host. Zambia will be the first to host Zambia at Kings Park Rugby Grounds before traveling to Kenya on the 30th of this month. Victoria Rugby Tournament not only bears intense competition, but also garners national pride. Uganda will be represented by the National Rugby 15s team, who are currently undergoing training.
Up and running. It's a long-running competition that has been in place. It was the easiest one to secure, and finally we've managed to secure for them 3 tests. What we've also gone ahead to do, and what we've had in their calendar for the longest time, is 2 more tests for the men and women that were locked with Tunisia that are going to happen away. So I think, like you've said, it's wrong to assume that they are forgotten. What they didn't have was the locked down calendar, and that's what we are trying to develop for them. And our plan for the Victoria Cup is to sign an MOU with the other 3 countries, that is Kenya, Zambia, Zimbabwe, to lock this competition into our calendars for the next 4 years. And give it a window between our calendars, all 4 calendars that make sense, that mean that it will be played consistently. And that is what Rugby Africa is driving us to do, as well as World Rugby. We have their support in trying to lock this down. I think if we manage to lock that down, we will have intent and a focused calendar for the 15th team.
We can be able to host these international matches. Hopefully that in the long run, we're able to host bigger tournaments as well. I think last year we went to Wankulukuku as a new ground to host international tournaments. This year we've added on Kings Park, and we believe it now has the capability to be able to host this tournament. And a very big congratulations to the management of Kings Park and the partners who have made the ground available. Match day 2, which will be between Kenya and Zambia, will be played at Chadondo. Because it's a weekday, we anticipate that it's easier, it's a nearer location for fans to be able to access the facility as well, and to be able to come in quickly and exit probably after the matches. But of course, also it being in town, be able to enjoy the after festivities that Nile Special will bring on board. So.
Brings us to the end of all we had for you tonight. Thanking you so much for watching. Michael Jordan Lukomwa is my name. Wishing you the best of the night. Bye-bye.
UBC